How can I fix my sexless marriage? I tell you, you have taught me how important it is for me to talk about sexless marriages. You will be stunned by the statistics on what defines a sexless marriage. So let's get to that right now. Why should you listen to me? I'm Dr. Cheryl Fraser. I'm a sex therapist, psychologist. I'm an author of the book Buddha's Bedroom and creator of the 10-week immersion program for couples, Become Passion, Create Love and Lust that lasts a lifetime. Sexless marriage is defined by clinicians as making love 6 or fewer times a year. Hold up now. I need you to diagnose yourself. You don't have to tell anybody but me. But are you making love 6 or fewer times a year? If so, you are normal. Hang in there. Watch this video. Listen, open up your ears. 30% of couples in a long-term relationship are not making love at all or very rarely. And in fact, some groups I've surveyed, it's up to 50%. In the recent group of couples who took my 10-week immersion program, I did a little poll. And when we got to the sensuality trainings and the sexuality trainings of the program, 50% of them were struggling with their sexuality and making love very little. And that's right across the age range. Couples in their 30s, 40s, lots in their 50s and 60s as well. So, sexless marriage, sexless relationship is a huge problem. I'm going to really take it real right now. I am not saying that you need to F like bunnies. I am not saying that if you're not having sex 3-4 times a week in every Kama Sutra position ever invented, there's something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. But I am going to say this, and this will be a little bit challenging to some of you or your partners. If you're neglecting the erotic, sensual part of your romantic relationship, you're neglecting something that is incredibly beautiful, incredibly powerful, and an incredibly rich segment of being in a love relationship. Maybe what's right for you is to make love once a month, but you don't know how to bring lovemaking back. Maybe what's right for you is to schedule sex and make love once a week. Maybe what's right for you is to slowly move towards sexuality by exploring things like eroticism and sensuality, cuddling together naked, having showers together. I work with couples wherever they're at in my program. I work with them where they're at to get to where they want to be. I want to briefly share some stories of transformation of couples from my latest round of the Become Passion 10-week program. First couple, their initials are N and C. N and C are in their 60s and they had not been having sexuality. There were erection difficulties. There were a lot of unresolved issues, hurt, pain, fear. They joined my program sight unseen as soon as they heard about it because they really wanted to see whether or not they could incorporate some sensuality and sexuality back into their long-term marriage. And they did. I got them working, first of all, with not touching genitals, with cuddling, with making out, with having showers together. And they did a lot of the exercises in the program together that help you gradually talk about where you're stuck sexually, what you might like to try. We worked with erection difficulties and other physiological things, changes after menopause. And they moved from being angry and sexless to moving towards, they're one of the big transformations of the program, this latest round, where they are having a lovely, rich, connected, romantic, intimate life. Then there was a younger couple in their 40s. Their initials are E and J. And E and J had a really interesting beginning where one of them had a very erotic sort of job. They were a dancer. They enjoyed their body very much. They were very sexual. And now a decade later, they really find the more overt sexuality challenging for them. They want to be more in the tenderness, the sweetness. They want to feel cherished, adored. They want to make long, slow, mindful, sweet love. And they didn't know how to communicate their needs to their partner. Their partner was frustrated. They worked through various exercises in the program, got coaching from me. I coach couples and I do weekly Q&As and whatnot. And they moved to where they're not there yet. They're still working on it. They're still working with me, but they're feeling really hopeful that they've at least opened up the conversation about their sexual life. Now, how many of you have a gigantic herd of elephants in your house called the sex we don't talk about? Elephant in the room, one of the most important things. Couples who are struggling with their sexuality, which are the majority of couples, are struggling with it in some manner. If you're making love fairly regularly, you may be struggling with the quality or how to share a fantasy you'd like to explore. These are all topics that I help couples get from where they are to where they want to be. So wherever you are, I want to reassure you that sexuality is a dynamic, lifelong part of our romantic relationship. And when we neglect it, we are neglecting something that can be so beautiful. Heck, maybe you only devote an hour a week to your sensual life in some way. But without it, it's like having beautiful meals your whole life, but no dessert. So I strongly encourage you to think about, when are you naked? What do you do when you are naked? Eroticism is as simple as the gorgeous eroticism of stroking each other's hands while you watch a movie. It's not all about penetrative sex. Sexuality, I call sensuality. It's a whole erotic spectrum, and there's a little bit I'm bringing to you in this Love Bite about a very complex topic. If you are intrigued, if my style seems to fit for you, I'd like to invite you to consider joining the wait list. There's absolutely no obligation. For my next session of the Immersion 10-week couples program, we're going to kick off at the end of September. This is a 10-week program, multiple classes and courses. I teach live and answer your questions every week. You'll hear all about it coming up in a month or two. But if you wish to join the wait list, again, no obligation, but it means you'll be the first to know when we open the doors. And we're going to open the doors one day early than we are to the general public, to you, my Love Bite listeners who are on the wait list, and there'll be some bonus prizes as well. So if you'd like to, you can click below and do that. And if you know anybody who might benefit from science-based tips and techniques of how to create passion that lasts a lifetime, these free weekly Love Bites or my podcast episodes, please share this email with them. Send it over. I want to help as many people as I possibly can. And for now, remember, sexuality is a dynamic thing, and 1,000% will not take care of itself. So it may be time to start gently talking to the elephants in the room, and eventually to yourself and your sweetheart, about, honey, how can we move towards a more satisfying erotic life together? Until next time, I remain Dr. Cheryl Fraser.